everyone. In this video lecture, we're going to start with artificial neural networks and okay. So before we start with this topic, that is artificial neural networks, I want you to understand, or I want you to make sure how this field came into picture, how this topic or how this field has originated, and what was its motivation, what was the reason that it came into picture. So now we are starting with these topics, okay, artificial neural networks. As the name suggests, the word neural, okay, it has come from neurons, okay, biological neurons, and the inspiration for this has been taken from our human brain. Okay, so the biological neurons are which take the inputs, process it, and give the further output based on some decisions. Okay, so there are different methods that have been now replicated based on how these biological neurons, present in our brain behave. Okay, so before we go to those methods, before we go to those mathematical concepts which mimic the biological neurons and human brain, we will just go through the biology part of this. So what is a nervous system? What is a biological neuron consist of? How we have replicated this into an artificial neural network, or how we are converting this into an artificial neuron. Okay, so let's look at the biological part of it first. So a human brain, okay, a human brain has almost 10 raised to 11 neurons. Okay, give or take, it has 10 raised to 11 neurons. It's a complexity of that's a number of levels that they have in a human brain, and they communicate using communication between these neurons. Okay, communication between these neurons is by using axon and synapses. I missed an N over there. Okay, by using axons and synapses. Okay, so per neuron there will be another. Per neuron there is another 10 to 11 synapses. Synapses and axons, what are these? We'll just come to that. Okay, I'll just draw a neuron diagram, a biological neuron diagram. I'll show you how it looks like. Okay, so it's somewhat like this, and there are ends over here. Okay, and these are basically bifurcated into different other neurons. Now those bifurcations that we get to see are called as dendrites. Okay, I'll come to that. Okay, now these bifurcations are nothing but your dendrites. Okay, these are your dendrites. And this thin long connection between is called as axon. Okay, and how a synapse looks like, a synapse. Okay, a synapse, how does it look like? It is basically connection between two neurons or two neural networks. And there is electrical energy transfer based using chemicals transfer that happen. That's how the electrical or the impulses are transferred from one end to the other. Okay, so this is a terminal boton, that is a neuron one side. One end is a receptor, which is going to receive the data or information. Now this is your synapse. Okay, this is your synapse. Now neurons communicate with each other by means of electrical impulses. Right? They communicate with each other with the means of electrical impulses. Now those electrical impulses, okay, will look like somewhat like this, which I'm drawing on the right hand side. Okay, it will be somewhere in millivolts region. Okay, and this is your time. Okay, and there's an excitation, there's a surge in the electrical signal and it goes above to a positive value. This is the impulse that you see over here. Okay, the electrical impulses when you're sending the information. Now input to this, okay, input to the network is provided by sensory receptors. Sensory receptors provide input, okay, and then these receptors deliver stimuli both from within the body as well as some sense organs, and the stimuli originate from external world. So there are what? There are internal and external. Okay, internal and external impulses generated. Right? Internal and external impulses generated. Okay, so how does this look like? I am just going to draw another diagram over here. Is that you have a central nervous system, okay, and there are some sensory organs over here, and then you have some motor organs over here. These are sensory organs and motor organs. Okay, and this is the extra feedback that you get from motor organs. Now, what are motor organs? Motor organs are nothing but your legs, hands, basically any part of your body that you can make movement of. These are your motor organs. And central, CNS stands for central nervous system. So sensory organs are the nervous system which detects the sensory, your senses, like eyes, skin, tongue. They sense something, right? They sense the data, they sense the information coming to their, when they come in contact with. So this information is passed to your central nervous system. Okay? And then the decision that is made, whatever that the signal is processed and then sent back to motor neurons. Okay? Now, if there is a movement required or there is a reflex action to be taken, your motor organs will come into picture. Now, this whole thing is present in a human body. Okay? And this is how it works. Right? So basically it's a 3-stage system. Okay? It's a 3-stage system. What are the 3 stages? As I explained to you now, first one is you have receptors. Okay? You have receptors. Secondly, what you have? You have the neural network. Okay? Where the information is transferred. The neural network. And the third is effectors. What are effectors? Effectors are nothing but, in this case, your motor organs. Effectors are nothing but your motor organs. Okay? So information is processed, evaluated and prepared to store information in the central nervous system. Okay? It is central nervous system. So commands are generated and then they are transmitted to the motor organs, as I told you earlier. Okay? So both the internal and external feedback control, now this becomes your internal feedback, right? This is internal feedback. Now, sorry, there will be feedback from here also, that's internal, and this is the external feedback. Okay? External feedback. So both internal and external feedback control the implementation of the whole central nervous system. Now we'll go back to biological neuron again, and I'll just draw different body parts of it, which I have not done earlier. So let me draw a new, just draw a new one here. Okay. Okay, now this is your biological neuron, much more detailed, and as we have seen before, I'm just going to draw those parts. Those parts, right? I mean, axon, and these are dendrites. Okay, axon, dendrites. This is your, what's this? This is the nucleus of the neuron. Okay. Now here there will be some connections that will be made. Okay. And from the dendrites from one into another. So now this connection is going to be your synapse. Okay. That's going to be your synapse. Okay. Now this is your, what is this? This is your cell body. That's a neural cell body. Okay. The biological neuron cell body. Fine. So now this is your, what is this? This is nothing but your biological neuron. Okay, this is nothing but your biological neuron. Now, this is all, it's a very simple elementary nerve cell that I have on. Okay, that is your neuron. It is a fundamental building block of a biological neural network. Okay, the neural cell body is a fundamental building block of your biological network body. So, in artificial neural networks also, you have a fundamental building block, which will come to that later. So, there are three major regions over here. Three major regions. What are those? First is your cell body. Cell body, or also called as soma. The cell body over here is also called as soma. Okay? Then what is the second part? The second part is your axon. Axon is one which connects one neuron to other neurons, other dendrites. Okay? So it's like a cylindrical line, nerve. Okay? And the third part is dendrites. Dendrites is where basically transfer of information happens. Okay? Okay, information transfer. So dendrites receive information. Also they receive, there's a knowledge transfer. They form a dendrite tree. Okay, they can also have a fine bush. Okay, like this over here, they can have a fine bush, right? So they form a fine bush of these fibers around the neuron body. Okay. Now dendrites receive information from neurons through axons. Okay, from other neurons they receive information through this, through axons. Okay, and axons are long fibers that serve as transmission lines. So basically they are serving as what? They are serving as transmission lines. The transfer of information. The cylindrical connection that carries impulses to the neuron. And the end part of the axon, splits into fine arborization, and each branch of it terminates into small bulb, almost touching the dendrites of neighboring neurons. Okay. Now what is that? Just change the color and show you. Fine arborization is this. This goes over here and it makes a fine bulb. Now this fine bulb is what is called as, touches the next dendrites of other neighboring neurons. So axon dendrite contact organ is called, axon and dendrite contact organ is called over here as synapse that we have. Okay, and synapse is where the neuron introduces a signal to the neighboring neuron. Okay, the signals reaching a synapse, and received by dendrites are electrical impulses. Right, the electrical impulse that we get, and intraneuronal transmission is sometimes electrical, but usually affected. Yeah, it's sometimes electrical, but also there's a chemical transmission that happens at the synapse. As I told you over here, chemical transmission also happening. Okay, which leads to electrical impulses. Okay, so the neuron is able to respond to the total. Okay, the neuron is able to respond to a total aggregation within the short interval of time. Aggregated into a short interval of time. Okay, it is able to. I'll just push this up. Yes. So there's something called as period of latent summation. There's one definition called as period of latent summation. Now what is this? Okay, a neuron is able to respond to a total of its input aggregated within a short interval of time. Okay, aggregation in short interval of time. Okay, now that short interval of time is called period of latent summation. Okay, so what is basically happening is all the neuron response is generated. Okay, the neuron response is generated only if the total response reaches a certain level. Okay, this aggregation, all the responses are from different neurons and dendrite cells, neural cells and dendrites is aggregated within a short notice. That is called as period of latent section. Okay. Now, if the output of the neuron is only generated only if it reaches a certain level. Okay. So generates a response and sends it to an axon only if a condition of fire are met. Basically, condition for neuron to fire will depend on if it crosses some threshold level. Okay. We'll see to that. We'll see to that in coming this. Okay. Now this incoming impulses, which are where the body gets, there are two types. Okay. It can be inhibitory, okay, or it can be excitatory. Okay. Now what does this mean? There are two types of impulses. Okay. There are two types of impulses that a neuron can get. Okay, one can be inhibitory, other can be excitatory. Now, inhibitory is the one which hinders the firing. Okay, this hinders firing. Okay, and excitatory obviously would be what? It caused firing. Okay, of a firing of what? Firing of a neural cell. Okay. So to be more precise, condition for firing is that excitation should exceed a certain level. Okay, excitation should exceed certain level. Then itself the neural cell will give an output or given value. Okay, so now that exceeding value, okay, so the value that exceeds the amount, the amount is called threshold of the neuron. Okay, there is a threshold of neuron. Okay, there is a threshold of neuron. Okay, so this value should be exceeded by the total, sum of aggregation that we have. Total sum, sorry. So this since the threshold is roughly around 40 millivolts. It's roughly 40 millivolts in human brain. Okay, for the biological neural to fire an output, the threshold is 40 millivolts. Okay, and they cause excitatory and inhibitory reaction on receiving neuron. It is what we do is we excite this will become a positive value, and this for inhibitory we give a negative value. Okay, unity waits for the values that we have. Fine. So the incoming impulses to a neuron can only be generated by neighboring neurons and by neuron itself. Okay, the incoming impulses that we have, and certain number of incoming impulses are required for the target cell to fire. Right, and this I said earlier. And impulses that are closely spaced in time and arrive synchronously. Okay. Now, the impulses that are closely spaced in time and arrive synchronously are more likely to cause a neuron fire. Right? This is how a nerve cell fires. So, information transmitted between nerve cells by means of the information transferred between the nerve cells by the means of binary signals are not present. Okay. So, there is one more term that I want to introduce to you over here is refractory, refractory period. Now, what is this? Sorry, one second. Refractory period. Okay. Refractory period is after carrying a pulse. Refractory period is there is a time. Okay. Time after firing. After firing in the sense. There's a time after the neuron cell has fired, it cannot be excited, or it's non-excitability. That means during this time interval, the nerve does not conduct any signals, regardless of any intensity of excitation. So refractory period is a small time slot where whatever you do, the neural cell is not going to fire or not give you output. So it's basically like, it's an off condition, it's a stop condition for it for some amount of time. So this is all time-based, that we have. So we can specify neurons to fire at the instant k+1. at the k plus 1 instant, what is happening? Okay, for the neuron cell. For condition given at k, at the kth time instant, this is a condition, at k plus 1 instant, what is going to happen? The next instant. Okay, so the neuron is said to be excited at a present instant if the number of excitation responses, okay, if it crosses at present instant, if it crosses threshold value t, okay, then only give you a excitation at the k plus 1 instant, if it crosses the threshold value. Fine. So now this was all the basics about your, or the background regarding artificial neural networks, the biological part of it. Okay. Now we'll move ahead to artificial neural model, that is micro-bits model in the next video. Thank you.